Hey, how y'all doing? This Rick Sincere with MTMV Sportsman. I am here with the newly drafted Joshua Taylor. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you for having me on the show.
Awesome. Look, man, Joshua Taylor, 6'4", 300 pounds, coming out of Mississippi Valley State University. You got drafted, I think, in the seventh round with the 10th pick to the Michigan Panthers. When you got the news, when you heard your name called, what was the feeling like?
The feeling was everything. I got to speak on the phone with Jeff Fisher, and that phone call really caught me off surprise. I was actually like watching it like go down, just refreshing my page, and then I got a phone call, and then it says, "Is this Joshua Taylor?" I said, "Yes." So this is Jeff Fisher, head coach, and man, that's when the sparks start flying. So it was just an honor to get drafted. It was a blessing.
What was the feeling like from what was the reaction from friends and family, those who are hearing about you, that those who know that your journey, right? They know your journey, they know your work ethic. What was the reaction like from your supporters?
It was just nothing but blessings. Everyone was just like, "You deserve this," like knowing like I worked so hard for this and things like that. All the people in my corner just backing me up and just knowing I got that type of support just means everything and helps me strive today. So
Awesome. I saw the post on Instagram. They put a fire graphic up. When you saw the graphic, what was you feeling like?
man, that it looked amazing. So I just knew it was like for real. So that's why I put my hard hat on, get ready to work.
I love it. All right, cool. So now I want to know about the process prior to the draft, right? Because there's always a process leading up to that moment. So what was it like? So you're heading into the USFL draft. You know it's the first one. Golly, I think it's 35 rounds of a draft, right? So so what was the process like for you and for USFL players prior to the draft?
Um, Pretty much you gotta just stay down and work. I know with it when it comes like it's not being televised, so you never know what happens. So you didn't know if you receive a phone call, you didn't know if you just had to look on social media to know. So speaking with my agent, he was just, "Look, you're gonna get drafted today. Everything's gonna work out for you, just keeping you this pressure." So I basically sat there and tuned in a couple podcasts, people that were covering the draft and stuff like that. And as like the rounds were going, watching the tackle rounds, and when it got to the end of it, I thought it was like my agent was basically saying like, yeah, like basically as in today, like today will be your day and you'll be all set. And I'm like, I had no worries at all. Then literally after texting him 3 minutes later, I got that call from Jeff Fisher, and I knew it was all worth it. So
Talk to me about. Let's shout out some of those podcasts, man. Who are some of those podcasts that you were like, they're covering it, they're covering it. I'm gonna listen to them today.
it was one person that reached out to me on Twitter. They're gambling, I think Sports Gambling Network, something like that.
Okay.
I might be messing up their name, but that's who I was watching their podcast. They covered it very well. I even got to go on there for a couple minutes after I got drafted just to share my experience. So
I
they
love
were
that.
probably one of the people I was really watching. So
For sure, for sure. All right, awesome. So, okay. Now, I want to get into this. You're preparing for your first season, right? We talked a little bit before we came on air. You were
right.
like, you got drafted at offensive tackle, but you have some versatility. Talk to me about that versatility. What positions can you play? What positions do you feel super comfortable playing?
I can play all five positions on the offensive line. Like that's something I've been working with, like through my college career, having to play different roles. So my 2019 season at St. Francis University, I got to play three different positions, both tackles and guard. And then leading up to my last season, 2021, with Valley, I was their backup center. Like so, I know how to snap the ball. I know how to play tackle. I know how to move inside. I know what it takes like to play these different positions, and I want to be versatile because I want to be able to play. The best five play. So wherever I need fit, whatever helps the team out.
You ready for that? What you benching right now, man?
Right now, I haven't really went maxing and everything like that. I'm just making sure my body's right. I got the my combines coming up this week, so I want to kill these testing and all that. Just make sure I test real high and make sure I still got something to build notoriety to my name. So
Awesome. Which combine are you preparing for? Are you preparing for the NFL combine?
the National Scouting Combine, it's down in
Yeah.
Indianapolis. It's just right.
Okay.
It's just underneath pretty much the NFL Combine there, but it's held in the same place. All 32 teams would be there, and it'd be a great event for me.
I love it. Okay, cool. So talk to me about this. I want to know. Everybody knows what they're doing, what they should expect to do, right on the bench. What should they expect to do in that 40? What should people expect from you when it's time to bench 225 as many times as you can? What numbers we looking like?
We're looking to at least hit 35. At
Talk
least
to me nice.
we want to get that 30 range. We want to make sure there's no mix ups or anything like that. So that's something I'm working for.
I love that, man. I love that. Okay, cool. Yo, what about the 40? What we looking like?
I've been working on like especially when it's nice outside. 'Cause I go to the field. I'm working on 10-yard splits right now. 'Cause I know the first 10 yards is like the most important thing, and that's what builds basically me being explosive off the line and everything like that. So I'm trying to bring my split numbers down, but yeah, I'm looking to run nothing really high, like but something really good enough for me. So
I
I'm
love
working on
that,
a 10
man.
yard splits. I'm working on 10 yards, and then I can sprint full speed for the rest.
Yo, you can always tell when somebody has a good agent, man. Because because of how you answer the questions. I love you, bro. I love what you're doing. All right, cool. So I want to know about this. So we've covered the AAF, right, when it was in this inaugural season. We looked into the
Right.
XFL when it was in this first season. And as you know, those leagues didn't quite live up to expectations. They actually started off super hot. They were so great right in the first start off, but then after a little while, it kind of didn't, it kind of, fizzled out. I want to know what gives you confidence as a player at when it comes to the USFL and its structure. What about it gives you faith that it has staying power?
More so like the experience level between like the whole organizations, like just speaking like the Jeff Fisher, that's an NFL coach, like, and having a lot of NFL experience around, I feel like the hugest part of me coming out of college would be my networking skills. So me just building ties with everybody else and then like learning the culture, because I know when it comes to like the playing like professional football, it's going to move at a very very fast pace. So I know me being able to basically, as in college, I could go see my coaches at any time for film. These are NFL coaches I can be watching this film with, learning from them. So that's really what I can see, like, which would be huge, even if that's just benefiting me personally. But the league itself, I feel like the league is well structured. They feel like they were moving very slow. They didn't want to give you any information that they didn't have. And I feel like that's another way that can make it work, as well as they're basing all the games in one city, and I know that'd be easier because you don't have to worry about. I think maybe with the XFL when they came out, like playing in different fields in different states. So if it's one neutral site, I feel like that'd be easier. You can always keep the games there. If all the games are televised, you just gotta pretty much make a schedule. So
I love it. All right, cool. So now let's talk about what's about to happen to you. You're about to go from Mississippi, right? Where you at right now?
Philadelphia, where
Philly?
I'm
All right,
from,
cool.
yeah.
Then you're gonna be straight. So going from Philly, going to Michigan, you should be okay.
Oh
Have
yeah,
you
the
been?
weather.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I should be all right.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. So if you kind of give your I'm looking forward to this the most. What are you looking forward to the most, right, in this upcoming season?
I'm looking forward to basically gaining that experience, gaining that trust from my teammates, basically getting ready for the grind. Like, I want to learn as much as I can. Like, and I know this is going to be a great experience level for me. So I get to work with people that were like, especially quarterbacks wise, like quarterbacks that were in the NFL, like Paxton Lynch, who he wasn't our first overall pick, but Paxton Lynch, somebody that's been drafted to the NFL. Like maybe it just didn't work out for him all the time, but he gets another second chance, and somebody with basically NFL experience that I get to learn from, I get to speak to, somebody that has knowledge of the game, and that's what it's about right there.
I love it. Okay. Everybody, when they get drafted, they immediately kind of, are excited for themselves, but they also look around the team and who else has been drafted on the squad. Anybody besides Paxton? Anybody else who's been drafted on the team so far that you're like, yo, I can't wait to play with that dude?
Um, Definitely, probably the first overall pick, Shea Patterson, because there's a reason they definitely picked him number one. I trust that he'd be able to do his job, and I trust the organization. And all you could do is just basically buckle up and get ready. So I'm just ready to work with everyone at this point.
I love it. All right, cool. Is there anybody else that you're hoping that gets drafted? Somebody you've been working out with, somebody you've been kind of, talking to and engaging with, anybody else you're hoping to get drafted?
Yes, a few names actually. Matt Burrell, offensive lineman from Ohio State. So like I know that's somebody that he knew my college quarterback, but me and him sent drills to each other, like working fellow old lineman. I knew he works hard, and old teammate of mine, Akeem Kennard, safety. I know he's a hard worker, and he's been always giving back to the community. I know he deserves a shot, and this would be it. So
I love that. Yo, here we go. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. We got a question for you. Want to hear it?
yeah,
All right, cool. We got a question from the audience. What do you think about a USFL XFL merger rumors? What are you hearing about? What do you think about that merger?
I think all exposure is good exposure. To be honest, if they were to merge, then it'll make it like basically a, I guess you could say a development league, but like maybe like with 20 so teams. That wouldn't be like terrible at all. That'd be great competition for everyone because I know they can always find a way to keep it competitive with these new rules that they're implementing, making the game safer. I think it'd be huge for like the community of football, to be honest, and everyone get another chance.
Yo, let me tell you something. So this is Crispy, and Crispy has been he's one of our guys on our team who's been one of the biggest USFL supporters. Every interview we do tons of interviews about the NFL and about the NFL draft, right? And he's
Mm-hmm.
always like, "Yo, ask the dude about the USFL. Ask the guy what's gonna happen with the USFL." So shout out to Crispy for being here. I knew once we put USFL here, he was gonna show up. Yo, awesome. I need to know this: the NFL draft, right? People don't know exactly what are some of the rules, right? As far as the NFL draft is concerned, you've been drafted now by the USFL. Does this stop you from being drafted in the NFL draft at all, right? Or does this actually help your NFL draft status?
I think it actually helps my NFL draft status because somebody that like came out of like I came out of Mississippi Valley State, a SWAC conference, still looked at as a FCS school. Uh, I guess it put. I feel like me getting signed here, especially in the first round, definitely. I mean, on the first day, it definitely put me on the map more. It gave me some. It even gave me more confidence. Like people were like, my hard work hasn't gone unnoticed. So that definitely helped me out. I don't know if it stopped me from getting drafted in the NFL, but I know if I play this season and do my hardest and all that, it always puts me on that NFL radar. That's why I want to build as many connections as I can, do as great as I can, and then just work up from there. Because the NFL definitely is the goal. So
I love it. Were you at the HBCU combine?
no, I didn't get a chance to get invited there.
Okay, okay, cool. How did you feel about the fact that that thing exists now?
Great for the community. I had a teammate Jerry Gardner get to perform out there and do excellent. So that's just great exposure for the school because I know that's what we want to do. I want to basically get back to my HBCU. I want to be able to make people come there do as great as they can, and I just want to build a legacy. And that's what the HBCU combine is definitely going to do.
Were you in the Legacy Bowl?
No, I was not.
How did you get a chance to watch it?
Yes, I got to catch some of it because I had teammates and friends that I played with from the HBCU pigskin game in there. So it was great competition in that game as well.
What'd you feel about the game, man? Some people were like, "Yo, it was a little bit, it was okay." What'd you feel about it when you watched?
I mean, I feel like since it was the first game, I feel like people always probably thought it was going to be more high powered than it was. But that was the great part about it. It was a defensive game. It was well thought out. Like you had to actually game plan against this other team because this is basically the best of the best HBCU students that going at it. So they've been working like for 3 days, basically going at it full speed in practice, trying to impress these NFL scouts, and then you want them to come out for a game. So they know each other by now. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
man.
feel like it was a great game.
Yo, to a man down there, they said it was a great experience, bro. They said it was like super cool. You know, they got rings and helmets and all kind of cool stuff.
Yep.
It was a good experience. We have another question from Crispy. Here we go. Um, how do you think the revamped USFL inaugural season will compare to the XFLs and even the AAFs? Like, what do you think? So, in terms of the USFL first season, how do you think that's going to compare to the XFLs and the AAFs first season?
Um, I wouldn't say it's hard to say, but I feel like with it being on Fox Sports, that is going to be a huge help. So with Fox Sports promoting it, and I know they were even doing something at the Daytona 500. So like they even it's a lot of publicity around this USFL, and I think that'll probably actually make it better than some of these leagues. But there's always no telling how it always goes. But I think it'll be good. I don't think it'll be underwhelming at all.
Yo, anybody you want to send some love to back at back at your school back at Mississippi Valley State?
Yeah, I want to thank all my coaches, Coach Dancy, just for giving me that chance to recruit me. Coach Carlson, Coach Lucky, the whole coaching staff. To be honest, just taking a chance on me because I was a transfer portal kid, leaving like for a chance at grad school. So it was just I don't think I would be here without that school, and it was just great to be able to be there and change the culture.
Love it, yo. We got some support coming in, and Duncan Carter can't wait to see Joshua play.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm ready to
Awesome.
ball out.
You ready to ball out, my man? For
Yes,
sure,
sir.
bro. Okay, so we always do this every time we're here, bro. When we talk to people, we say, "Yo, how can we pray for you?" We call ourselves a praying podcast, right?
Okay.
We want to know how can we pray for you? How can we keep you lifted? Somebody's watching this right now, and they're like, "Yo, I like that dude, Joshua Taylor. That's my dude, man. I want to support him. I want to pray for him. I want to keep him inspired and lifted up." How can we pray for you?
Pretty much just keeping family and friends in prayer, to be honest, because everybody's always going through something. I know my family included. So there's always somebody else that need help more than you do. So don't be afraid to give back, pretty much, and just pray for everybody else. To be
Awesome.
honest.
Awesome, awesome. All right, we got another question from Crispy. Here we go. All right, there any notable rule changes that differentiate differentiate from the NFL or even the NCAA? Right? Are there any rule changes that you see in the USFL that makes this a different game than the NFL and NCAA?
The one thing I actually seen with their news, how they're kicking off from the 25-yard line, which will make every kick returnable. Pretty much. I don't know how great the kickers are, but yeah, that make every kick returnable. But they even said they would try to change up the style of the kickoff. So I think I think that was the AAF where they would do like the kick from back, but the kickoff team started up a little bit earlier.
Yeah, they did have kind of like a weird. I know maybe that was the XFL. And how they did the kickoffs. I know it was kind of innovative how they went about doing it.
But I think it would be something like that to make it returnable, to make it so you can still see special teams and not let these people get hurt just teeing off on each other. So that's
Are you
something
gonna
I
be
thought was interesting.
Are you gonna be watching the rest of the draft tonight?
Yes, I will. I
Cool, cool,
want to. I
cool.
want to see who gets drafted to the team. So I want to know who's gonna be my brothers throughout this battle. So
We love it. Yo, thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate you. Yo,
I
we
appreciate the opportunity.
absolutely, man. We always support you always support HBCUs, man. We just came back from the Legacy Bowl. My wife told me not to say this, but I'm gonna say that it was lit. Like it was great, man. I had a great time. So it was a phenomenal situation. The USFL, what people may not know is that there are some HBCU players who will be in that league, right?
Right.
You're one of them. We're gonna throw our support behind you, right?
Thank you.
Definitely. You're welcome back here anytime you want, my man. So you want to come talk, you want to come share your experiences with us. We'll definitely keep in contact with you and watching you as you progress in the USFL, and then hoping that in the draft you hear your name called as well.
Sounds great.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you, and we hope you have a phenomenal day. Yo, Josh, anybody you want to shout out before we go?
Shout out my mom and dad. To be honest, they always believed in me since day one.
Yo, you a smart brother. All right. God bless y'all. We love y'all.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
see
you
you.
for having me once again.
Absolutely. We out.